Okay, YouTube family friends, welcome back to another edition of Mustang Fanatic Productions Mechanic Editions. Mechanic is a word that we used 20 years ago when I was a diesel mechanic, so we just called ourselves mechanics instead of mechanics. So this is an edition of Mustang Fanatics. Okay, YouTube family friends, this is Rev with Rev It Up Mustang Fanatic Production. We're here with our GoPro, and we got Electrobiff, the 99 Ford SVT Street Cobra. Okay, you can see we got our brand new 4-inch SVT Cal induction hood on her. The only thing we haven't done yet is we haven't got the Cobra Snake Strike kit, as you see here on the front bumper. So we got to get that back across the top of the hood there. And as you can see, this is a monster of a hood. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. Okay, so what we're doing today, my tires are 315s, 17s, 35 in the rear, I believe, and the fronts are 275 40 17s. Now, the reason I got the Mickey Thompson Street Comp tires is because they're multi-directional. So it doesn't matter which side they go on. So since they're staggered tires, I get to rotate tires. So I can take the tires from my left side, put on the right on the left, and I'm going to do the same thing for the back to rotate them. But I've been hearing a weird noise in the right front brake system. When I hit the brakes, it feels like something's a little loose in there. So we're going to tackle that, as well as doing some cleaning as well. So we're going to get this thing jacked up, and we're going to get the bolts off and the tire off, and we're going to get to work on this thing. Okay, now what I normally do, I use a breaker bar to break the studs loose, because I don't want to scratch anything or tear any threads up. Now we're going to go over to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing.
Rich, I know you know it. Lord, this be right. Let it go. Let it go.
Because she's so low to the ground, I have to use the 2-jack method. You can see I got that Pittsburgh jack over there, and it's a little small jack, 1.5 tons. Then I have my Daytona jack up under the not the subframe member, but the K-member, to get both tires up in the air. So then I can take that Pittsburgh jack out of the way, and now I can commence to take both tires off and then examine the brake on this side to see what I find inside there, what's going on. And it should be nothing serious, because we don't really drive her much, and we don't beat on it and slam on brakes or any such things of the matter like that. So we'll see what's going on here in a minute. So now that I got the Cobra up in the air, I can go ahead and use my impact socket and just do it lightly to get these off. I mean lightly, I mean lightly. Okay. Now I'm going to go around and do the other side. Okay, I had a homemade brake hose hanger, but I don't know what I did with it. But anyway, let's see. If I can lift the brake out of here, or I'm going to need some help. Because there's no hole where I can squeeze the pad in. So I may just need to go up from the bottom here and lift up on it and pull it right out. Okay. Now as I look, everything is intact. So let me see if I can find a place to hang this. Aha! That's what's missing. One of my brake clips that goes in here is missing. Nope. There they are. They're both on the bottom. They're facing the same direction. They're good to go. So that's not the problem. So let's hang that on that. And let's see, we'll hang this on the coil over here. And that's on the coil out of the way. So I can't tell anything wrong. Uh-oh. That's it. There you go, you see that? That's what I'm feeling. My brake caliper holder has backed out a little bit, so we got to tighten up on that. So we're going to turn the wheel the opposite direction so I can get this turned that way. Let me change my gloves so I don't get any mess all over my steering wheel. Okay, what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to tighten up on these caliper bolts. Boy, that backed out pretty well. My God, look at how that shakes. Let me show you the camera on this thing. That bolt right there, that's backed out pretty good. Man, look at that. Wow. So that's the bolt that I'm going to be tightening up on. So let me get the right size socket, which that might be a little too big. Let's see, a little too small. So it will be a 15 millimeter, and this happens to be a 16. So I don't know where my 15 millimeter is. So I'm going to have to use an extension socket on here. So we're going to have to tighten this baby up pretty good here again. How that bolt backed out is beyond me. But that's why it's good to do a little maintenance every so often. These bolts are usually about 75 to 90 foot-pounds, I want to believe. But you crank down on it pretty hard, she's not going to go anywhere. All right, got that done. So I will check the other side to make sure that hasn't loosened up. But I haven't had any trouble with the right side. It was the left side that I had trouble. Felt a little vibration. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we got those caliper bolts tightened here, here, and here. And then all we did is just slid the brake back up into the hole here and to where it's even right down here. And then you want to take your pin, put a little bit of brake grease on it, and you want to slide your pin back through the hole. Nice and easy. Then you want to take your washer and put your washer on, and make sure you push this all the way to the end, and you can see the little tang that this clip is going to clip back into. Sometimes you may have to just use a screwdriver or something to push it in place, and you heard it click in place. So now we have our brakes back on. Everything's good. Okay, no wobbling brake caliper holding. Everything's nice and tight. Everything's nice and clean. The rotors are in good shape. Got plenty of brakes. And we just solved a major problem. That could have been a heck of a problem for me out there on the road. Okay, so now we're going to turn the wheel back this way. So we can go ahead and mount the tire as we rotate the tire. So I'm going to turn the steering wheel back a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do, since I got the tire on, I'm going to go ahead and clean the inside of this rim up just a little bit. You don't need to see that part. So now what I do, I get my impact socket and I just run them down nice and easy till they're snug. And crisscross pattern. And I make sure I go over it again. Then what happens, when I set the vehicle on the ground, I torque them to 105 foot-pounds. That's what most passenger cars are. If it's an SUV, you're talking 130, sometimes 150, but passenger cars, about 130, 105 foot-pounds. And we torque it down, re-torque it after about, 25, 30 to 50 miles, re-torque them just to make sure. Now we're going to go over to the passenger side and just make sure everything's set on this side. Now we're going to physically check the conditions of these brake caliper holders, and they seem to be in very good shape. So I don't think I have any problems there, but for safety's sake, we're just going to get our wrench that we use to torque that down with, and we're going to do the same on this side. Just for safety's sake, we're going to make sure they're nice and tight. No, they're loose. Holy cow. It's not as loose, but these are loose too. See how loose they are? Surprised I didn't feel it shaking on this side. All right, we avoided a master catastrophe. So now I can turn the wheel back this way. I don't need to inspect the brakes because I know the brakes are new. They're in great shape. So now I'm tapping the steering wheel, turn it back towards me so I can clean the tire and then put the tire on, and then we're going to do the back tires and swap them around. So once again, we're going to clean the tires, clean this up a little bit. You don't need to see that part. Okay, now that we have both tires clean, we rotated the tires, we fixed the problem that was on the passenger side. We end up having the same problem on the driver's side. The brake caliper bolt were loose. We tightened them up real good. And now we got to put the jack, our lower jack, on the other side, so when we lower it down we don't crush our chin spoiler, because this thing is really low to the ground. So let me go ahead and lower it down, and then we're going to jack it back up. We're going to rotate the back tires. Alright, we set our vehicle on the ground, so now we are going to torque Here's my torque wrench. We're going to set the torque to 105 foot-pounds, and we're going to make sure these are torqued down good. We're going to torque them. We torqued them to 105 foot-pounds. And after a test ride, we'll check them later. Now, I use the same method for the rear. Breaker bar, and just break the lug nuts. Then we go around the other side. Now we're going to blow the tires off of both sides, rotate them, just do a quick inspection of the brakes, but I believe everything is fine with the brakes. So we're going to really just rotate these tires. And these are massive tires. Like I said, these bad boys are 315. Basically, we're through. We got that tire back on. We're going to torque that down to 105 foot-pounds. After we do the other side, we still got to put that tire on that side and clean the inside of it. And we're going to lower it down, torque it down to 105 foot-pounds. Then we're going to go for a little cruise, make sure there's no shimming and shaking that I was feeling before. Okay, gang, this is Rev with Rev It Up Mustang Fanatic Production. I'll let the car warm up a little bit while I strap myself in my seat. I got the 5-cam locking harness seat belt. And you saw what we just did. We solved the right front brake issue. We had a loose caliper bolts, and surprisingly they were loose on the driver's side, so we got them nice and snug, so we shouldn't feel no vibration in it. And we rotated the tires, so we're going to see how that feels. So now I'm going to give you a front view of what I see with this cow hood on. So this is my view from the cow, and 4 inches, it is really high. So you see what it looks like, and I got to be real careful when doing things, because man, it's awesome. I'm gonna have to put my camera up higher in order to for you to be able to see what's going on. So I'll have to mount the camera up to a higher location. But that's what I see. All right, God bless. We'll see you in a short. Okay, so I think I got her in a good location where you can see and where I can also see.